SB 5052 has passed this legislative session, which has a ton of restrictions on the medical cannabis community, including changing the definition of what medical cannabis really is down to less than 0.03% THC.
5052, and the main difference between 1372 that I see is that we're losing a lot of our patient rights with the 5052. Demanding the registry has no actual beneficial purpose for patients, and it's just an invasion of privacy. And I also feel that 5052 is just shoehorning all of the medical patients into the recreational system, which takes away all their options and their right to choose the type of medication that they want to use.
Honestly, the committees, the way they're set up, they will have people from, say, the general public, people from my industry, people from the state, and I do believe even someone from the Liquor Control Board as an advisor in that committee, which gives patients a broader sense of protection under something that isn't just isolated by the Liquor Control Board.
1372 is actually a fair and balanced legislative bill that no one's interest is served except patients, where 5052 totally serves 502 businesses and profiteers, and also does not show compassion and should not be actually in existence. It legislates healthcare choices that are left to individuals.
Well, it's written totally by patients, so it is totally patient-oriented, where 5052 has a tremendous amount of influence, of course, from legislators who, unfortunately, most of whom know very, very little about cannabis.
It puts patients' rights in the hands of multiple entities instead of just one that we're in direct competition with as far as the state making revenue.
If 5052 continues without 1372, patients are not going to be able to get a lot of the medicine they need. The state's promising a lot more stores, but what I really feel they're doing is 502 was going to be increased anyways. They were going to increase the number of stores as needed. I feel this is a way for the state to kind of kill two birds with one stone and say, yeah, we're giving, a medical system, but at the same time, really, they're just increasing 502 and making 502 larger and kind of calling it medical when really it's not.
Initiative 1372 would restore all of the rights that were taken away from patients in SB 5052. Allowing them to have collective gardens, allowing them to share amongst each other in a way that actually works with them or for them without fingerprinting them, having to put security cameras in their homes, putting them on a voluntary registry. That's not really voluntary if you really need that medication. So 5052 has forced a lot of patients into thinking, where the heck are they going to get their medicine from now?
As a grower, I'm going to have to answer this two ways. The state allows 300 chemicals and pesticides to be sprayed on cannabis, any one of which could kill a patient of mine with a compromised immune system.
I understand that the state wants to merge the two systems, have recreational and medical under one system because it's easier for the state to regulate.
Points before 2011, some opened up after, are true patient places, meaning that they actually do test their own product. They actually look for growers that provide different strains, because it's not just CBDs, it's the entire plant that is doing the healing. So some people need THC for their qualifying conditions like chronic pain or something, where somebody who has HIV or something might need more CBDs, but that does not mean just CBDs. The whole plant is what does the healing.
If a person owns a store and it's their responsibility not only to buy recreational cannabis, which can be anything under the sun, but to buy medicine so that people in the vicinity of that store actually can get medicine that they need, that's a huge responsibility for someone who doesn't have any previous knowledge of cannabis as medicine. How do they know what to get? How do they know what it's supposed to cost or what they should sell it for? And to be the sole provider for people in that area because there's so limited number of stores. All those patients in that area are now looking to this one person who owns this store, or two, or however many people own the store, to make sure that they're getting the same quality of the meds they were getting before.
Many medical products have absolutely no recreational value, so what would be the motivation for a recreational producer to even have that product available for medical patients? Just because there's an endorsement to prescribe doesn't mean that the products are going to be available. So.
Everybody can see it, clear as day, that the Liquor Control Board wants to have primary control over the cannabis industry. Mostly because a lot of other agencies don't want to get involved. The Department of Health doesn't want to have anything to do with it. The Department of Agriculture has said they don't want anything to do with it. So it leaves us left with the Liquor and Cannabis Control Board now.
They won't exist. They'll be regulated out of existence. They're not going to say they're illegal, but they won't leave me enough to operate past all their regulations.
By pushing the two together also, what it does is it basically puts medical on hold for whoever knows how long, because now everything has to get licensed and everyone has to start all over again. And so a lot of people are going to be without meds for a good amount of time because they're going to go into a 502 store, they're not going to have the things there. It's going to take however long it takes to get those products in there, and it's not going to be a short amount of time.
We need specialty clinics for cancer. We need specialty clinics for AIDS. We need specialty clinics for Crohn's. But let's start with at least a specialty medical clinic where the doctors actually know something, where the products are clean and pure. And by that, I mean essentially organic.
I don't see it being good. They promised 334 stores, only 40% of those are open. They are supposedly promising 400 medical stores, which their track history does not show it. So if it stays on the course with the LCD, I don't see the industry growing.